YouTube, welcome to or back to the channel. I hope that you guys are excited for today's video. Yes, I know I say that in every video, but it's our catchphrase. It's like, you know that it's the Fuller fam, right? I don't know, one of the things that, this is random, but one of the things when I first started YouTube that they said was you should always start your videos off with the exact same statement because it brands you. I've done it ever since. I can't help it. It's like I have to do it. Anyways, regardless. If you guys watched my last video, you know that I was wearing the same outfit. I'm filming 5 videos today. A lot of content because this is the only day that I have to film content, is the weekends, and it is currently Sunday. The boys are starting school this next week, and I'm starting a brand new job, so it's pure chaos, and I was like, I need to get a bunch of content filmed. So I've been filming nonstop. All sorts of different content. We filmed 3 vlogs for the boys, and then we're filming 2 more this week, and then I'm in the process of filming 3 videos for these just sit down videos. So that's what we're doing currently. Today is a different type of video for me, but I always get questions about how I've managed doing all the things that I've done, especially over the last year or so. So I thought that it would be beneficial to kind of share with you guys what I've done in my life and how I keep myself above water, because it can be pretty freaking chaotic and hectic around here. Sorry, I keep touching my hair. I chopped it off, if you can't tell. It was like down to here, and then I dyed it dark again, and I'm obsessed with it, but I just love feeling it because it feels so healthy. Anyways, if you are new here and you don't know me, I am 28 years old, and I am with the love of my life. That's so cheesy, but I really do. We are more in love now than we've ever been. It makes me so happy. He is 32? He'll be 32 this year. And we have triplet boys that just turned 3 in May. That enough is a handful, but each of them are also medically complex. So they have multiple diagnoses, and all 3 of them have feeding tubes. One of them came home on oxygen, one came home on a ventilator. He's still on the ventilator 12 hours out of the day, so we are busy bees. Just take Ezra, for instance. He's on a ventilator. He has hearing aids, glasses, braces on his feet, and he has pulmonary hypertension in his heart, so we have constant not weekly, but monthly echoes on his heart that's an hour away from us. All of our specialty appointments are an hour away. But we do have a nursing staff, which is the only thing that really keeps us afloat half the time, so shout out to our nurses if you're watching this video. We're in a 4-day streak of no night nursing and a 3-day streak of no day nursing, so that's a whole different conversation that we could get into, but we are extremely freaking busy, and these days that we don't have nurses make me extra thankful for our nurses more than I already am, because it reminds us how screwed we would be without them. So shout out to our nurses. I am in the process of promoting, like I just said, and I'm going back to school again. Not again, I haven't quit, but I graduated with my bachelor's degree in April, and I'm going back to school in 2 weeks. So I thought I'd give you like a brief kind of overview if you're new here. If you're not new here, just tune in and listen, because you guys already love me at this point, and you know that I'm gonna make money off of you watching me ramble. So for those of you who don't know, I got pregnant in 2021 with the triplets. This was mid-COVID. I didn't know until I got pregnant in 2020. I'm sorry. It was mid-COVID. I had them in 2021. I was actually in college at that time. I was serving tables at Texas Roadhouse. I had decided to go back to school. I already had a degree at this point in surgical technology, but I hated it, absolutely hated it, and it was just not for me, so I decided to quit my full-time job making loads of money. A lot of money. I was a travel night tech, if that tells you. I decided to quit that job, go back to waiting tables part-time, and go back to school. So I did that, and I actually was in school my whole triplet pregnancy, and I took my finals while the kiddos were in the NICU, and I took 1 final while I was actively in labor, and then I took 2 after I gave birth to them while I was still in the hospital. People look back and they're like, how did you do this? And so I wanted to shed a little bit of light on how I've managed this crazy lifestyle that is what we have, what we've been given. But honestly, there's not like a set answer. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me just fast forward. So then the boys have had quite the journey, very complicated. I was a stay-at-home mom for a really long time until December of 2023, where I decided to go back to work full-time. That August, I also went back to school full-time to finish out my bachelor's degree. So I had 2 semesters left to finish my bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and I knew that I wanted to get my master's degree, so I started taking some of my graduate classes early. So the spring semester, which started in January of 2024, and I graduated in May, that semester I was in 19 credit hours, and I worked full-time and did YouTube and was a parent full-time. I mean, I don't feel like parenting is really like part-time or full-time unless you don't have full custody of your kids, but like I'm with my kids every single day, so I consider that a full-time parent. Basically, the one thing that kept me afloat as far as school goes is the fact I was online for most of my classes. My first semester back in school in the fall, I had to go on campus, but I wasn't working full-time yet. So that was definitely helpful because I wouldn't have been able to work full-time and go to school full-time if my classes were during the day or on campus. This next semester, I'm only taking 9 credit hours because I only have to take 9 and then 12 my next semester to graduate with my master's degree because it was an accelerated program. And like I said, I've already done like half of the a third of the program, I think. I can't remember. So next semester, which again, this is all starting in the next few weeks, I'll be in 9 graduate level courses, or 9 credit hours, 9 credit hours that are graduate courses. And one of those is a night class on campus 1 day a week. So that is going to suck for me. That's going to be a really big adjustment. I won't see my kids 1 day a week. I don't think about it too hard or I'll cry, but I know like people have split custody and they go a couple days at a time or like a week at a time without seeing their kids. So I'm like, it's 1 day. They're not gonna hate you. They'll know who you are on Wednesday morning. So yeah, I won't see them at all on Tuesday because I'll go straight from work to, actually, that's a lie. I might see them for like an hour in between work and school if I come home, which I'm gonna have to because how can I not now that I know that I have a gap? Because I think I get off work at 4:30 and I don't think my night class starts until 6. So I could drive here, spend like 45 minutes with them, and then drive all the way back to school, which is right by my work. And this is way out of the way. It's fine. That'll work. So yeah, that's going to be an adjustment for us for sure. And I start a new job tomorrow. If you guys follow me on other social media, for Facebook, for instance, I put this whole story out and I was like, I guess I didn't think being a mom to triplets and being in school full-time was enough, and I had to work full-time plus do YouTube, which is, it is another part-time job. So I'm working time and a half. That's how I feel now because I was like, oh, I want to go back to school. Okay, cool, Aubrey, everything is settled down. You're in your job. You're good to go. Oh, you're going back to school. Let's start a new job. Let's add the stress of starting a whole new job. I'm in the prison still. So I went from being an institutional activities coordinator where I coordinated restorative justice activities for the offenders, and I was in charge of volunteers. So any of the volunteers that came in, I was responsible for training them, sending them to training, and then getting them oriented at the prison itself, and then ensuring their yearly compliance of background checks, TB testing, and training. So it was a pretty big responsibility. I had a lot that I learned, and it was pretty overwhelming at first, but then I started really getting the hang of it, and then I got bored because I think I thrive off chaos now. And I was not that type of person before. I did not used to thrive off of chaos. I was a very like bare minimum kind of girl, but now it feels like I run pretty much constantly on a loop. You gotta think I'm in school, working a job and a half, being a full-time mom to triplets, which is a full-time job in itself, maintaining a healthy relationship that is at its height. Honestly, right now, me and Braxton are the best that we've ever been. I think I probably said that the last time that we broke up and got back together, but it truly is, a journey, and you learn so much about the other person. And at that time, maybe that was our best, but now we're even better than we were at that time. So, doing that, and then also trying to take time for myself. I love to read. I love reading. I have a whole library of books on both sides of me right now, and that's my me time. And working out, I like to work out, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit of what's helped me kind of be the person that I am and maintain this chaotic lifestyle, because there is a lot to it. I think, a lot of people say you can't do one kid, but let alone like triplets without a village, but we don't have a village. We have very few family who are actively involved in our triplets' lives. We have people who come every couple weeks or every couple months, and we have people that don't come at all, that never see them. And then we have like our solid group of people who do see them actively or, help us actively. Both of our parents, both of our moms and my stepdad are very involved with them, so that's great. And then my Nana comes once a week and helps with them. And so other than that, like, those are our consistent people that see the kids every single week. And those are the people that know how to like watch them on their own, because that's another thing, you know, we can't just leave them with anybody. So that makes our life very complicated too, because we really don't have a village. Now, our nurses are our village for sure. Those ladies have become our family, and they are what keep us afloat for certain. They are the best. But we also have lost about half of our nursing because they've pursued other opportunities, or they had to cut back because of personal things in their life. We lost Kaylee, which was our day nurse since Daxon came home, so that was a really big adjustment. But now we are blessed to have Mariah, and we absolutely adore her and love her. She's been a breath of fresh air to have in the house, just because, you know, we've been struggling. We've been really struggling. So having her has been such a blessing. And then we lost Adri. She's still working kind of PRN, but we don't really see her much anymore because she pursued her dream job, which we're super happy for. So that's been a huge adjustment too. You know, we've lost a lot of people, and we have a lot of new nurses that have been coming in. And so that's been hard. And that's really our team, our support. So me and Braxton are responsible for doing most of the things for our children, which of course is how it should be. We are their parents, but it definitely helps when you have other people that you can count on that can take some of that load off of you, because at the end of the day, we still have 3 children that we're trying to provide for. We can't both be stay-at-home parents, and ultimately neither of us could afford 3 babies and not work. I know some people can, and it works for them. Criminal justice isn't one of the fields that you go into for money. I'll say that very much so. I mean, I make good money and I have great benefits, so that's one thing that was, you know, I started working for the state because my benefits are outstanding. I don't get cheaper insurance really anywhere unless I probably worked for the federal government. But with 3 kids who have medical needs and are going to have ongoing things that state insurance eventually isn't going to cover, that was crucial to me in finding a career long term. So this is where I plan to be until I retire. I want to work for the state forever. I love my freaking job. I love the people that I work for. I'm passionate about what I do. And that is another thing that helps with the chaos. So keep that in the back of your brain. But we can't afford for either of us to be a stay-at-home parent, and we're both working a job and a half. Braxton is still doing his art full-time, and then he started a marketing job that's eventually going to turn into full-time hours, and he loves it and he's doing really great at it. But again, we're working 1.5 to 2 jobs at piece, so we're spread thin, and it's only to provide for our kids. Everything that we do is for the boys. You know, we're not doing this besides any other reason of trying to move out. And speaking of that, that's going to be something that we are doing hopefully soon. Say a prayer for us. We have a wish list on our Amazon that's linked if you guys feel generous and want to help us with some of the things that we're going to need to buy whenever we move out, because you don't realize how much things you don't have until you try to move out. And we were already living on our own at one point in time, but we didn't have 3 babies, and when we moved we had to sell and get rid of a lot of things because we were moving in with my parents, and you know, we don't have room here. So it's time for us to leave the nest, and we're super excited to be able to do this for our kids and provide for them because of the sacrifices that we've made. You know, it's hard when you're being spread thin like that, and I think not having that support system is also really hard for Braxton and I, because it's really just, you know, the nurses and us that, and, you know, the people I listed from our family, but they create that little village that are constantly keeping our kids at the forefront. You can't wake up and decide you don't want to be a parent. You have to. Those little kids are, you know, counting on us, and that's the best feeling in the world, but it also holds a lot of weight. And so everything that I do is for my kids, and I always keep that in the back of my mind. Like, when things get rough, people are always like, how do you even take the time to go like work out? I feel so guilty because I have to take care of my kids, and if I don't take care of me, I can't take care of my kids. And those things are what keeps me healthy. And it's the same as like physical health as it is mental and emotional health, and people don't ever understand that correlation or that they're equal. You know, if you're just not taking care of yourself, say that you're, I don't know what example to use, but you're physically not taking care of yourself. You're out there like doing heavy drugs and you're not able to care for your kids. It's really the same correlation. I mean, I don't know, that's not really the best correlation, but if you're not taking care of yourself mentally and you're depressed and in bed and you just feel like crap and you feel like you have no purpose in life, like that trickles down to your kids too, you know, those things that you carry. So I have to be the best version of myself, and that means taking the time to go to the gym for 45 minutes out of my day. Like, my kids aren't gonna notice that I'm gone for an hour, I promise. And it is hard when I'm already gone X amount of time at work, but the weekends, me and Braxton are here completely by ourselves. We don't ever have any day nurse nursing on the weekends, very rarely at least. And if we do have a night nurse, they're coming in like an hour before bedtime. So we have the whole weekend where we're very actively spending time with our children and being involved with them and taking them to do fun stuff and making memories. See, it's exhausting talking about all this stuff that I'm doing. Anyways, so, and every single night, then I come home from work and I have 3.5 hours with my kids before they go to sleep, and I spend that time, you know, with them. Yes, I may go to the gym and come back and only have 2.5 hours, but that time is quality time spent together, and they don't know any different. They're also about to go to school, so they're starting preschool. That helped me kind of make that adjustment where I was able to go back to work, because I was like, you know, 6 months or so, they're going to be going to school, and yes, it's only in the morning, but eventually it's going to trickle into them being gone at school the same time I'm at work. So it's not really any different just because they're a little bit younger than, you know, when they go to school, you're not going to see them all the time either. So my kids know they're very loved. A lot of people can't afford to be able to be stay-at-home parents or have a parent that stays at home. I'm blessed that we don't have to pay for daycare, because we would have to probably not. I mean, we would have to figure it out with only one income, and that can be very difficult. I think, you know, as far as me going to school and stuff, I've thrived with the online environment. So if you're a stay-at-home mom, or if you're a mom full-time, like, that might be more of something that would be beneficial to you, or if you work full-time, because you can do it from anywhere. You can do it when the kiddos are asleep. You can do it on your own time, which I really like, because chaos, you know, I can't have strict deadlines for things because my life doesn't work like that. We have way too much going on. My camera ran out of memory, so I'm gonna wind it up. But I don't remember what I was saying, but basically online school helped me a lot. And then with, as far as me and Braxton goes and maintaining our relationship, it's an active every single day struggle for us. We have to put work into it every single day to maintain a healthy relationship and to stay in love with one another, and we were not doing that before. So now it's going to be even harder, and I'm kind of registering it, even just saying it in this video out loud, like, we are going to have to schedule things and plan things and time together so that we can take care of our relationship, because a lot of the times that's what goes to the back burner. You can't not go, I mean, you can, but if you are following my train of thought here, you can't just not go to work without getting fired, right? You can't not take care of your kids without them dying. You can't not turn in your homework without failing. You can not take care of your relationship and not notice for a really long time those automatic effects, you know, of something. Like, those things are all quickly deteriorating. You know, you don't do those things, you don't turn in your homework, and you don't go to work, you're failing or you're getting fired. A relationship, you don't have to put in a lot of effort, and you don't necessarily see the breakup the next day. You are going to see it deteriorate over a period of time, and so it's a lot easier to put that on the back burner than it is anything else in your life. And so I feel like a lot of the times that's what happens, is that one thing that we can ignore and not pay enough attention to because we don't have to is what falls apart. With Braxton and I, we realize, like, we love each other way too much, and we have such a beautiful family and foundation built with one another that it is important to create that time with one another. Whether that's an hour every single night, we sit in bed together at the end of the night and we eat dinner together and watch our show every night. And that, even though we're not sitting and actively, like, talking to one another, you know, this and that, we're still spending time with one another and, like, de-stressing from the day. Usually every night, during the week at least, maybe not during the weekend because we're actively spending time together, talk about our days. So we both are like, hey, what happened today? Like, what's new? And we talk for X amount of time. We have to schedule dates. We've been working on doing a date night at least once a week, whether that's we could do something at home or even just like a quick run to the Mexican restaurant and getting a dinner together. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant or fancy. One night a week or on the weekend, we spend time, just the two of us together. It could be, I mean, there's all sorts of things that you can do to spend time with one another that's quality time. Braxton's, like, love language is acts of service and, I don't know, like, affirmations or, like, showing him I love him. So little things. I've been getting him cards and leaving them for him to read, or making him little notes to write, or sending him long messages just telling him how much I appreciate him and how much I love him. And mine is, like, I like gifts and I like quality time. So he's been surprising me with date nights and bringing home, like, a new book for me. So we've just really been pouring into one another, and it's hard. You have to actively work at it to keep a healthy, loving relationship. And anybody who tells you otherwise doesn't have a healthy and loving relationship. They're either not in love with one another, or their relationship is not as healthy as they make it out to be, because relationships are hard work and it's a lot. But we want to make it work and we love each other, and so we've been really working on it. So basically, you know, having a strong partner and knowing why you do the things you do is what's crucial to keeping my chaos aligned. Also, trying to remain as organized as possible. We have multiple apps that are scheduling apps for the nurses, scheduling between me and Braxton. We have to just be very forthcoming on expectations because we have a lot of things going on. Braxton's going to be doing a lot of art shows coming up, which requires him to travel. We have to be able to plan nursing around that, especially if I want to go. We have to know when my mom's out of town because she helps with the boys. Everything has to be very organized. There's, you know, a time and a place for everything. So it's a lot of organizing, being open to communicating, staying on the same page with one another that has kept me aligned. Most of the time throughout the week, if I need to like de-stress, I can listen to like an audiobook on the way to work, and on my breaks maybe keep a book in my car. I can read on my breaks whenever I come out from the prison because I can't take my phone inside the prison. Maybe I listen to an audiobook while I'm working out, double whammy. What else? Let's think. I take a bath instead of a shower and I read my book in the bathtub so that I have a little bit de-stressed there. I don't do my homework until the weekends when I'm already sitting in the room with my kids, so they're actively playing and doing stuff. I can work on homework for a little bit, then get down and play with them. Work on homework for a little bit, get down and play with them. I do it sometimes throughout the week intermittently while the kids are sleeping. They're already in bed, so let's do some homework. It's late, it sucks, it's not easy, but that's what I do. I'll work on homework for an hour and then I'll read my book for an hour. And that's just a cycle. It's all about staying organized, figuring out kind of time management skills is crucial, and just keeping yourself accountable, holding yourself accountable. I set big goals for myself and I don't allow myself to miss those goals. So my current goal is that I graduate with my master's with a 4.0. And I just said I won't allow myself to miss, but I could. You never know. It's hard. But anyways, I hope this has provided a little bit of insight on kind of where I'm at with everything and how I survived the chaos. If you guys like content like this, let me know. I know it's kind of boring because I'm just sitting in front of a camera talking, but I think hopefully it's helpful to someone. And I love you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you in the next one.